Hey, Marie, how are you? I saw that you were out all week. Where were you? Did you take a trip or something? I bet you took a trip with your family. Am I right? Where did you go, if I may ask? Was it overseas, maybe? Did you bring back any souvenirs? Oh, I wonder what it could be. Come on, Marie, where was your trip to? You can tell me. Oh, hello, Sandra. You're getting a bit ahead of yourself as usual. I just went with the family to visit my husband's parents over in Sanford, that's all, so no souvenirs, sorry. It was just your boring visit to Grandpa and Grandma's house. We just sat around at home and relaxed, not sightseeing or anything. Really not much to see around there except wheat fields. Oh, really? Oh, that's no fun. It's almost Thanksgiving weekend and you went to visit your grandparents, huh? Yeah, Thanksgiving weekend we plan to visit my folks over on the East Coast. It's a bit further, so we'll stay a little longer. It's a hassle because both of us want to stay longer. We have to share our time wisely. Oh, yeah. Hey, you said your husband lives over in Sanford, right? Isn't there a big amusement park over there? Yeah, but it's like an hour's drive over there, and I heard it gets pretty crowded on the weekends. I envy you so much. You get to go all over the place. I was thinking of taking the kids there, but my folks are pretty old. They would rather relax at home. We had neighbors over for a barbecue. That was about it. Oh, really? What a waste. I heard that place was really fun, like Disneyland. A real missed opportunity. You were all there. You really should have popped over and enjoyed yourselves. The kids would have had a blast. That's why you don't have any souvenirs, huh? What a bummer. I was expecting a little something. Oh well, you sure put a damper on that. Yeah, alright. Okay, no souvenir for me means nothing for you when I come back from my Hawaii vacation. Sorry. Now we're even, right? I was planning on buying a whole bunch of neat stuff. Oh well, you really missed out, Marie. You're taking a vacation? You're going to Hawaii? Yep, that's right. This is my first time, so I'm so excited. We're leaving tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Oh, I get it now. So this is what it's all about, huh? You just wanted to tell me? Of course I wanted to tell you. What do you mean by that anyway? Nothing. Wow, how nice. Oh, sorry, Sandra. I just remembered I have to get dinner ready for the kids. I really have to go. I'm so sorry to cut this short, but we'll talk again later, I promise. Talk to you again. Bye. Yeah, okay. Bye. Hey, Sandra, are you there? Please reply. This is important. It's about your son, Kenny. He's sitting on your back porch crying his eyes out. I can see him from my kitchen window. What's going on? Did he lock himself out or something? Isn't anybody home? He seems so upset. It's getting really cold outside, so you better get him inside. I heard it was going to snow tonight. Are you even home, Sandra? I may have to go over there, you know. He's gonna freeze out there. You better get him inside right away. Huh? Relax, would you? What are you all upset about, Marie? Hey, Sandra, finally! It's freezing outside. I heard it's gonna snow later. Let him inside, the poor kid. Oh, you're talking about Kenny, right? Yeah, well, I left him out there on purpose. Pardon me? On purpose? What are you saying? What was I supposed to do? He was screaming and going on like a little monster. He insisted that I take him to Hawaii with me. Can you believe the little brat? I was going to be late catching the flight to Hawaii, so I had no other choice but to leave him out there on the porch. I mean, what else was I supposed to do, for God's sake? Anyways, I left him with that big down jacket. He'll be fine. Wait, are you saying you're not even home? Yeah, that's right. I'm in the airport limo now, heading to the airport. Almost at the terminal, as a matter of fact. But I suppose I kind of expected he would act this way. And I knew you would be in the kitchen and probably be looking toward our house right about this time. That's right, I've been monitoring you, Marie. The whole thing went just the way I planned. You planned this? What are you even talking about? I knew you'd be looking out your window. You always prepare lunch about now, and you have a clear view from that window. I knew you would see him. I had him wear that big red down jacket just in case. Worked, huh? So take care of Kenny for me while I enjoy some sun, would you? Sure would appreciate it. I'm going to be in Hawaii for a week, and I don't want to be bothered. I need some quiet time for myself with no interruptions. So I'm going to shut off my phone the whole time I'm here, just so you know. Okay then, I'm off to paradise. Take care of little Kenny for me while I'm gone, okay? Bye. Aloha. Hey, Sandra. Don't know when you're going to see this since you said you were shutting off your phone. I've retrieved Kenny from the back porch and brought him over to our house. He was freezing, you know. That was no down jacket, just a red windbreaker. What were you thinking? He's fine now, but it could have been serious if I hadn't seen him. Reply when you see this, and I mean ASAP. No reply probably means your little vacation has started and you won't see this until next week. Probably sitting on the beach about now. But you're going to see this sooner or later. I can't just let you off the hook. It doesn't feel right to just let this go. So I'm going to leave a long message for you. What the hell is wrong with you, Sandra? I believe your husband is currently assigned overseas, right? He comes back once or twice a year or something? I remember you griping about that after our PTA meeting. You wouldn't shut up about it. Who the hell did you go to Hawaii with anyway? Was this one of those solo trips? I know it's just you and your son, but I really can't understand why you would leave your son all alone to go off to Hawaii for a week. And you leave your kid out on the porch in the freezing cold with only a thin windbreaker? How could you do that? What if I wasn't home that day? He would have been out there all night. This could have ended badly, you know? Did you even think that far? How can you even call yourself a mother? Are you just disguised as a mother, but in reality you're some evil monster? I talked to my husband about it, and he may be able to contact your husband overseas. When your husband returns, I'll return Kenny to his dad. So when you get back, contact him and work the rest out yourselves. That's all I have to say. Enjoy the rest of your vacation, Sandra. Looks like you haven't even turned your phone on yet. I guess you're keeping your word about no interruptions. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to give you a daily update about your husband. We contacted him last night, and apparently he hopped on a plane right away. He's scheduled to be back later this afternoon. Just so you know, I'll be over there when he arrives, and you can be sure I will tell him every last detail about this situation. Honestly speaking, what you did was totally inexcusable. And after I do that, we leave for my parents' home and won't be back for a few days. So even if you contact me about Kenny, I won't be able to help you out. You're just going to have to contact your husband and talk it over with him. Just don't rely on me to help. Oh, and one more thing. It seems you're not only ignoring my messages, but your husband's as well. But you know what, Sandra? Maybe people already know why you went to Hawaii. And maybe who you went with. Or maybe even details about this guy. Address and phone number, maybe? You may be pretty surprised how much everyone knows. I bet some preparations are being made. But what do I know, right? Anyways, have fun, and hope all this was worth it. Hello there, Marie. How was your week? I just arrived back from Hawaii. I had such a wonderful time. I brought so many souvenirs. The luggage weighs a ton. I'm glad I have rollers on this suitcase. Had the guy loaded onto the van and off again. I better give him a big tip when we arrive back at the house. Oh yeah, and how's little Kenny? Tell him I got him a super nice gift. He's going to love it. I really don't know how to thank you for taking care of my son this entire week. I hope he wasn't a burden on you. I'll stop by and pick him up after I return. But I have to tell you, Marie, it is so nice having such a considerate and useful person living right next door. I don't know what I would have done if you weren't here, Marie. Thanks so much for this. I hope I can count on you again in the future. I bet Kenny likes it over there. Maybe he doesn't even want to return. And I heard your cooking was pretty good too, always standing in the kitchen like a good housewife. Oh, I almost forgot. Remember when I said I would not get you a souvenir because of that last time? You remember that, right? Well, I'm keeping my word. No souvenir for you, Marie. Sorry, and eye for an eye, right? I wasn't expecting one, so don't worry about it. Oh, there you are, Marie. I was wondering when you were going to answer. You're acting a bit high and mighty. Do I sense a tinge of jealousy, perhaps? Just because you babysat my kid for a week, aren't you being a little lordy? Babysit? Your son's not over here. I'm not looking after him. Pardon me, are you saying he's not over there at your place? What I'm saying is that even if you come over now to pick him up, he's not here. Hold on a second. You saw him on the porch, then took him in, and you've been looking after him the whole week, right? I mean, come on, Marie. You found him sitting out there on the porch. And as you know, my husband is working overseas and only comes back once or twice a year. You're the one who found him, and you're supposed to be our neighbor, for God's sake. You have a responsibility to take care of him. I'm starting to see the picture. I figured as much. When you were in Hawaii, I sent a daily report of what was going on, but you had your phone shut off. And it seems you haven't even looked through your past messages. No, I never read past messages. What's that got to do with anything? I would just ask you to open up Line and check your messages for the past week, and you'll get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. If you take a good hard look at it, you'll see that it's probably not only me, but I'm guessing there are a bunch of messages from your husband and your parents. Yeah, well, it just seems like such a nuisance to have to answer back every time, so I just shut it off and enjoyed my time in Hawaii. You'd do the same. That's where you're wrong. I am way more responsible than you. You'd rather ignore all your messages and have a jolly old time than worry about your kid or your family. I hope all of it was worth it. What are you going on and on about? Was Kenny a pain in the butt or something? Don't take it out on me, Marie. Just look at your darn messages, would you? You'll know what I'm going on and on about. All right already, you don't have to get all irritated for Pete's sake. What the hell has gotten into you? What the hell is this, Marie? How the hell did this happen? How the hell did you get in touch with my husband? He's working overseas. Who told you his contact info? I certainly didn't. When you guys moved in next door, my husband was already assigned overseas. You only met him a handful of times. Did someone in the neighborhood tell you? I bet it was Miss Bennett down the street. She was always asking about my husband. Well, what you didn't know was that my husband had business dealings with your husband. They met on occasion. Business dealings? They worked together before? You never told me that. Yeah, there was some business project they worked on together about a year ago. He mentioned the company and where he was stationed, so it wasn't very hard to track him down. Are you serious? They know each other? Yep. I really thought you knew. Don't you guys talk much? Guess you figured nobody knew your husband, huh? That's why you felt safe about going to Hawaii all alone. Or was it? Anyway, your actions were despicable. You do realize that, don't you? Excuse me? How could you say that? Come on, Sandra, think about it. You put your own kid in danger. He could have frozen to death that day. What if I wasn't home and nobody found him? My God, I hate to even think about it. If someone had called the police, you could have been charged, you know? Did that thought ever cross your mind? Call the police? Are you serious? Why would anybody call the police? You make me sound like a criminal. You're lucky that there was no need for such a drastic measure. We took Kenny in, he was a bit shaken, but he was fine, and we were also able to contact your husband, so... But if the police were called, there could have been consequences. You could have been charged with a crime. To put a young child in danger like that? What were you thinking? You're kidding me, right? Oh yeah, and your husband? He said he was contemplating divorce. I would talk to him right away, Sandra. He was furious. That guy you went to Hawaii with? Yes, we all know all about this guy. Apparently, he's your boyfriend, wasn't he? The way I see it, I think you're going to have a pretty difficult time getting custody of Kenny. Sure looks like your husband holds all the winning cards. He wants a divorce and he wants custody? How was I supposed to know it would all get overblown like this? It was just a short little vacation for Pete's sake. What am I gonna do? Kind of late to be worrying about that, wouldn't you say? Hey, Marie, are you there? Please pick up. Where did my husband and Kenny go? You must know. You have to tell me. Come on. Are they at a neighbor's house? Down at Miss Bennett's place, maybe? Is that where they are? I just walked in the door and all our stuff is gone. The place is cleaned out. Where did they go? I went over to your place too and nobody's there either. Where is everyone, for God's sake? I asked Mrs. Simpson across the street and she wouldn't tell me anything. Just shrugged her shoulders. I bet she knows. Did you tell her to keep her mouth shut? I just found the divorce papers and photos showing us on the beach in Hawaii. Who took these photos anyway? Did my husband hire a private investigator? There's also a business card here for some divorce lawyer. Why? How did he find out? Why didn't you just look the other way, Marie? Not only that, my boyfriend contacted me. Apparently my husband called him and told him that I was married. He wasn't supposed to know. He just sent me a line. He wants nothing more to do with me. We had such a romantic time in Hawaii. He said he loved me, and then he drops me just like that? Was that all a lie? I can't believe this is happening to me. Where did it all go wrong? I don't want to split up with my husband. What am I going to do all alone from now on? I want my boyfriend back. After I got that line message, she evidently headed over to her parents' place, who live about an hour's drive away. I guess she's living with them now. After about a month, I heard that the divorce was finally settled. Just as I expected, her husband was granted full custody of Kenny, and she was obligated to pay a considerable amount as compensation. I also heard she had to pay the boyfriend a certain amount too. The poor guy thought she was single and was even thinking of marrying her down the line. I don't blame him for demanding compensation. With child support and compensation for both her husband and the boyfriend, I heard she was like $100,000 or more in debt. A neighbor who knows her pretty well told me that she's living with her folks and working every day to pay off that debt. At least she has somewhere to go. I bet her folks never expected to take care of their daughter again. She apparently regrets what she did and is trying to make up for it. I suppose it's a little too late for that. Anyway, she won't be going on any vacations to Hawaii anytime soon.
Adriana, why are you at Dad's funeral?
Huh? What do you mean why I'm at his funeral? Weren't all of Dad's relatives invited to come?
Stop pretending like he was your dad, Adriana. You're pretending like you were his family during yesterday's wake, too. Do you know how annoyed I was at seeing you?
But I'm his daughter, so I wanted to say farewell to him as well.
Huh? It seems like you have some sort of misunderstanding, but it's extremely rude to sit with his family when you're just an adopted child.
What? I know I was only adopted, but he raised me like his own daughter ever since I was a young child. I don't even remember who my real parents were.
It doesn't matter whether he raised you or not when you're not actually related to him by blood. You're not related to me either. I call you my sister just for convenience, but I don't really think you're my sister, alright? You're always just fucking Adriana in my mind. But I'm the daughter of a CEO, so I can't say such things out loud, right? I feel as if I'm being punished whenever I have to call you my sister, but it can't be helped.
Ophelia, why were you always this mean to me?
Why shouldn't I be mean to you? Even though you weren't even Dad's real child, he always treated you better than me, his actual daughter, for some goddamn reason. But just because I call you my sister doesn't mean you can pretend to be his daughter at his funeral. Dad was always nice to you, but I'm not going to be the same. I'm his real daughter, not you. You're basically just a stranger to him, you know?
I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt like that all this time. I guessed it must have been difficult seeing your father treat us differently. But still, what you're saying is just going too far. Just because I wasn't related to him by blood doesn't mean that we couldn't have had a meaningful relationship as father and daughter.
Shut it. Just leave the funeral right now. I don't want to hear any of your excuses. Ugh, I always hated how you were like this. Every time I get mad at you, you always pretend like you did nothing wrong and I'm the bad guy. For once, could you just admit you were wrong?
Adriana, are you alright?
Oh, hi, Irvis. It's fine. I just got a little bit wet. It's not like she hurt me or anything.
Someone saw Phila dumping a bucket of water on you and told me about it. Where are you right now?
I'm at the rental clothes store near the funeral.
Oh, so you rented morning clothes to go to the funeral?
Yep. Someone from the shop saw that Philly had dumped a bucket of water on me and brought me here.
I'm glad things seem to be alright. They're gonna give you new clothes, right?
Yeah, thankfully the owner's a kind person. I also thought of borrowing a wig and some glasses.
What? For what would you need a wig and glasses for?
To disguise myself. So I could sit with the rest of the relatives without being noticed.
What? You don't have to hide like that, Adriana. You did nothing wrong. He's your father.
But...
I'll sit next to you the whole time and prevent anyone from doing anything strange.
What? You'll do that for me?
You're my fiancé. I already got permission to sit with your relatives, so it's not gonna be a problem. Even Phila will have no choice but to behave if she's in front of a crowd of people. Don't worry about it. Return to the funeral and say goodbye to your father. Even though you weren't related to him by blood, you were probably closer to him than anyone else in that funeral. Even Phila.
Irvis, I wouldn't know what I would do without you. Thank you. I'll return as soon as I change.
What is your problem? Why is Irvis standing watch next to you the whole time?
Hello, Philia. I know you were mad at me, but dumping a bucket of water on my head like that was rude. I would have been glad to settle our differences, but you didn't want to talk to me.
This again. I hate how you always make me seem like the bad guy. You don't seem to understand yet. You're not supposed to be at this funeral. Also, Irvis is supposed to be my fiancé, not yours.
Huh? What does Irvis have to do with this? And what do you mean he's supposed to be your fiancé?
I mean, shouldn't a person who's going to inherit father's company marry the CEO's only daughter? Mom said that as well. And besides, he's too good for you anyways.
Are you trying to say that it's already decided that Irvis is going to be the next CEO? Where'd you get that information?
I mean, isn't it obvious? For some unknown reason, he's engaged to you, who isn't actually related to father, but it was supposed to be me, you know? This is a good opportunity, so I'll be taking Irvis from you, okay?
That has nothing to do with whether Irvis is going to be the next CEO. What you're saying doesn't make any sense, Philia.
You're so frustrating to talk to. You're going to leave this funeral and Irvis is going to be mine, period. Oh, I almost forgot. There's something Mom wants to tell you. Don't think that a stranger has a right to receive an inheritance, she said.
Sorry, but I'm not going to leave the funeral, and I'm not going to give you Irvis as well. And what's that about the inheritance? Is she telling me to let go of my portion of the inheritance when he was my father as well?
Fine. Stay at the funeral if you want. Just know that you aren't welcomed here. Oh, and as for Irvis, I'll take care of him myself later. And yes, that's what Mom is saying. I agree with her, by the way. Why should a complete stranger inherit stuff from my dad, who was a CEO? He probably has a fortune waiting for me.
I don't think this is something we should be talking about the day of the funeral. It's impolite. Dad's will is going to be released by a lawyer after the memorial service takes place, right? The company can't just wait until it's released. So it seems that they're holding meetings to decide who the next CEO is going to be. So I think it's best not to say or do anything stupid for now.
I didn't quite get what you said, but I'm going to take Irvis from you, all right? Irvis himself will probably choose me, the CEO's real daughter, over a complete stranger like you, if he's going to go after the position of CEO.
Well, I guess we are just strangers to each other. I can understand why you don't like me, but it's not an excuse to treat me the way you're currently treating me.
Finally, you understand. It's fine with me, whatever you think, as long as you get out of my life. Looks like you messed up, Adriana. Irvis, the next CEO of Dad's company, is going to be mine now. Too bad, I guess.
But it was already decided before Dad passed away that Irvis wouldn't be the next CEO.
Huh? What are you talking about? What do you mean he's not going to be the next CEO? Hi, Irvis. I'm your new fiance from now on, so I hope we can get along.
Huh? What are you talking about, Filler? My fiance isn't you, but Adriana, your sister?
Oh, that's been canceled.
Huh? Canceled? What do you mean?
Dad messed up a bit, so you for some reason got engaged to Adriana, but in reality, you're supposed to marry me, not her. Which is why I'm gonna fix things now that Dad is gone.
My marriage with Adriana has nothing to do with the company's interests, though.
But just a little bit longer and I'll get my hands on Dad's inheritance. If you don't marry me, then the position of CEO is gonna be harder to obtain, you know?
I don't quite follow.
What?
It doesn't matter what you say, my fiance is Adriana. I have no intention of getting married to any other woman. Goodbye.
What's the meaning of this? Why are you the next CEO? This has got to be some sort of mistake. What dirty trick did you use to make this happen?
Philia, it looks like you're misunderstanding.
What? How am I misunderstanding?
I'll try to explain to you what happened, alright?
Fine, explain it then.
Well, we first need to talk about why your father adopted me.
It's because Mom and Dad couldn't quite bear a child, right? But I was miraculously born after they adopted you.
It's true that they couldn't bear a child before they adopted me, but everything else is wrong.
Huh?
They didn't tell me how much you knew, but it seems that I'm Dad's biological nephew.
What? His nephew?
Yes, I'm his sister's daughter. His sister and her husband, meeting my real parents, suddenly passed away after getting into an accident. So your father took custody of me and adopted me as his daughter. That's what I heard.
Oh, is that so? So does that mean we're cousins?
Yes. About the next CEO of the company then. Dad's company evaluates people entirely on their skill. It's just a coincidence that the next CEO, me, also happened to be related to the previous CEO. I was one of the employees who were chosen as candidates for the next CEO. And luckily, they noticed my hard work and chose me.
So what about Irvis?
I've been going out with him since I was in the second year of high school. I'm only marrying him because I want to. It has nothing to do with the company.
No way, but I heard that he was competent at his job. He was at least chosen as one of the candidates for the next CEO, right?
I didn't know you had that wrong as well. Irvis isn't even an employee at our company. Where did you even get that information?
Seriously? But I always thought that Dad had brought the two of you together since he was planning to make Irvis the next CEO.
What? You read way too many short stories, Philia. Well, do you understand the situation now? There's a lot of things I need to learn if I'm going to be the next CEO, so I'm quite busy. Bye.
This can't be true. This is completely different to what I thought was happening. Why did I get everything so wrong? Why? Why is Dad's will like this? You inherit all of Dad's property, and me and Mom just get a few gifts.
It's just as the will says. Apparently you're Dad's child legally, but your father was actually a different man, and you were only born because Mom cheated on Dad. I was surprised when I saw this on the will, too. It looks like Dad even has proof that you aren't his real daughter, so there can't be a mistake.
What?
I'm sure Dad was conflicted by this fact all this time. He probably could have divorced Mom whenever he wanted to with the proof that she cheated on him. He could have even threw you away with her since you weren't his actual child.
Huh? So after all this time, you were the one who's related to Dad and not me? Why didn't he tell me about this sooner?
Dad wasn't the type of person to discriminate between us just because of the conditions surrounding our birth. He probably didn't tell us to keep the family safe. Maybe he knew that he and Mother would have gotten divorced. This proves that he did in fact care for you as well, Philia. Because if he hadn't, he would have just left the family fall apart and leave you and your mother to your own devices. You were just too blinded by jealousy to see that he cared for you as much as he did as me. I think what's written on his will is his final decision after years of inner torment, so I'm gonna do as Dad's will says. Goodbye for now, Philia. I hope that one day we can come to terms with each other and be the siblings that we always were.
But if he cared for me as much as he cared for you, then why did he give you more inheritance? I want that money as well. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was supposed to get rich after Dad died. Irvis, marry me instead of Adriana.
Huh? Phila? What in the world are you talking about? Why should I marry you?
You see, I was such an unlucky child all this time.
Oh, you mean how you ruined your father's actual child? I guess it's a bit ironic how you kicked Adriana out of her father's funeral because she wasn't actually related to him, when in reality, you were the one who wasn't related to your father, and she was.
Yes, I never wanted this to happen. And I can't even receive an inheritance because of Adriana.
What does Adriana have to do with this? Your father simply gave Adriana more money than you and your mother, simply because he thought Adriana would make better use of it, I think. I doubt he was petty enough to give Adriana more money just because he liked her more. It simply isn't good parenting. You and your mother are housewives without a job, right? But Adriana has a promising career. In fact, she's now the CEO of her father's company. And so that's probably why he gave her the money.
But if Adriana never existed, then at least I would have been Dad's only legal child, and me and Mom would have been able to receive an inheritance. Isn't that so?
Philia, do you realize that you're being extremely rude to Adriana?
What? Who cares if I was being a bit rude? I was only telling her the truth. She was trying to lay claim to Dad's inheritance even though she was just a stranger to him. That's why I told her to get out of my sight.
It's true that the business of inheritances can be delayed and people need to handle them logically. But after your father died, while everyone else was quietly mourning your dad with whatever thoughts they might have had for him, the sight of you and your mother looking so excited for the inheritance was disturbing, simply put. I'm not surprised your dad chose to give his inheritance mainly to Adriana. With that personality of yours, I'm actually surprised he didn't divorce your mother and let go of you sooner. It just goes to show how kind of a man he was.
It's not like that. Dad always treated Adriana better than me, and now I know why. It's because I wasn't actually his real child, and Adriana was his nephew all along. And I never intended for it to seem like I wasn't sad about my dad's death and only cared about the inheritance, Irvis. I was sad about Dad's death just like everyone else. You just didn't notice it. And what do you mean, that personality of yours? I'm a much better person than Adriana. She just pretends to be the saint when in reality, she just does it to make people like her. And me and Mom are the only person who realize it.
I knew that's what she would say. It's not like your dad ever told me anything, but I don't think that he treated Adriana better than you simply because you were the child of another man. And Adriana was his nephew. Adriana's father was the kind of person to judge someone entirely on who they are as a person. You can see it in how he runs his company, where employees are evaluated entirely on their skill, right? This means that your father was more fond of Adriana than you simply because he liked her better as a person. Although, I will admit that a father treating their children with different levels of love is a bit unfair, and I'll forgive you a little bit for that. But saying that you never intended for it to seem like you weren't sad about your dad's death and that you only cared about the inheritance is actually just as bad as saying that you did intend for it to look like that. Because now you're just someone that has no regard for manners and what other people think.
Irvis, don't say things like that. It wasn't my fault that I wasn't actually my father's child and that Adriana was his niece. I didn't ask for any of this to happen. Please, I have no one else to depend on. Why don't you want to marry me?
I feel bad for your situation, but sorry, I'm not gonna marry you no matter how much I pity you. Because I love Adriana and no other woman. Goodbye, Philia. I hope that you someday find happiness of your own.
Dad was the owner of the house Philia and her mother lived in, but it was now my house after the inheritance. It seems the two were too proud to live in a house owned by me, so they used the little money they received as a gift from Dad to find an apartment. Actually, the gift money they received was only little compared to the rest of the inheritance, but it was still quite a large sum of money. But for some reason, the two of them decided that these were the funds they needed to start gambling, even though they needed that money to get by until they could start providing for themselves. Even though they intended to earn some easy money by winning, they eventually lost all of it. Now the two of them support themselves by working at a job that comes with housing. But since the two of them have never worked a day in their lives, they frequently make mistakes and get scolded by the other employees. The two now live in poverty and constantly have fights, it seems. Me and Irvis, on the other hand, got married a few months after the memorial service took place, which is also when I started to be more comfortable with my new position as the CEO. We decided to find a new house as a way of putting the past behind and starting anew, and I decided to sell the house I inherited from Dad. I kind of feel bad for Philia. After all, she thought that she was her dad's real child her whole life. But to be honest, I don't think Dad was the kind of person to judge a person based on something like that. So I also feel that what happened to her was ultimately her own doing.